Well, as the government's been keen to tell us over the last week or so, it's 6 months since a boat successfully made it to Australian shores. December 19, it was the last vessel to make it to Christmas Island. Over the weekend, however, there have been reports of 2 vessels making it very close to Christmas Island indeed. One having departed from a southern Indian city, Pondicherry, carrying Tamil asylum seekers, presumably from Sri Lanka, having gone to India to depart. That there were more than 150 Tamil asylum seekers on board, that they had run out of oil and were effectively stranded about 300 kilometres west of Christmas Island. A number of journalists spoke to some of those asylum seekers on board. No doubt they were calling anyone they could to raise the alarm and no doubt be rescued. Now, whether they have been rescued or not, whether they have been transferred to an Australian Navy or Customs vessel, remains unclear. Separately, there have been reports over the weekend of a boat having left Indonesia carrying some 50 or just over 50 asylum seekers on board. That's despite the Prime Minister saying in the last couple of weeks that boats had not only stopped making it to Australia, but had stopped leaving Indonesia. So what's right and wrong in all of this? What is the Australian government willing to acknowledge? I spoke just in the last half hour or so to the Immigration Minister, Scott Morrison. Well, Minister, what can you tell me about any boats that may have tried to get to Christmas Island?
Well, I can tell you that any vessel that does try will meet the same policies that have been in place now for 9 months, and particularly the last 6 months, where we've not seen any successful venture coming to Australia. What I can also tell you is that if there are any incidents that involve safety of life at sea, if there are any medical transfers that need to be undertaken as a result of any possible incidents at sea, then I would report on those. And I've done that in each occasion in the past where that's been necessary, and there have been no such incidents for me to report over the last few days. I know the speculation that has been out there, and I know the concern that people have expressed regarding people's safety, including of our own officers. Well, I have no concerns on that front, and there are no such incidents to report.
So there have been no safety of life at sea issues or medical transfers required?
That's right. And if there were such things happening at any time, then you would expect me to report on those. So without being drawn on the specifics of ventures and things like that, which you know what our practice is there. But if there are things that happen that are of a serious nature, then it has been our practice to report it.
Still, can you tell me, have there been asylum seekers from this southern city in India, as has been reported, transferred onto either a Customs or Navy vessel? Well,
they are by definition on water matters, David, and you know the government's policy on that, and it's important that we maintain the integrity of our operations, and that ensures that those operations can be used and deployed wherever they are needed to be deployed. Now, I know that advocates and others are trying to force the government into some sort of change of practice or policy here, and that just won't happen on my watch. We're not going to change the successful formula of operations that have served us so well, and we're going to remain resolute on that.
What are the arrangements with India in terms of asylum seeker boats from that country?
Well, without specifically talking about any single country, we would engage with any other countries that we would need to engage in relation to our operations. That has been our practice till now, and that would certainly be our practice going forward. But I'm not going to join in on the speculation that others have made about this, other than to simply say that we have a very established process. I mean, Operation Sovereign Borders now has been running for a good 9 months, and we know the drill, we know how it works, and we know how to respond, and we know how to take matters forward.
Nonetheless, are you, as Minister, concerned about the prospect of India becoming a new source country for asylum seekers?
Will that invite me to speculate on source countries, David, and I'm not about to do that.
Can I ask you about the reports of a separate boat from Indonesia in the last few days that may have been intercepted?
Well, again, that goes to what might happen at sea, but I have found those reports curious.
Why have you found them curious?
Well, there's lots of speculation that happens, David, about what might happen from time to time, and on many occasions it is just gossip, and it's not well sourced, and so people can choose what to believe, and I understand that it can cause some frustration in the way we would seek to manage these matters, but I make this distinction. Public curiosity isn't the same as the public interest, and the public interest here that I have to assess is what is in the national interest, and what is in the national interest is that we maintain the integrity of an operation that is saving lives at sea and protecting the integrity of our borders.
You and the Prime Minister both said last week the boats had stopped trying to come to Australia. Is that still the case?
Well, what the Prime Minister said, he made that comment in relation to Indonesia, but I'd also say we said at that press conference that we're ready for any other venture that may seek to try. Now, I've always had the view that people will continue to try. I think they'll always continue to try. I don't think that'll occur at anywhere near the rate it was occurring under the previous government because they'd completely opened the door. Now, we have shut that door, and I think that's well understood up through this people smuggling chain. But from time to time, there will be ventures that will try. What matters is, do they succeed? And these ventures have not succeeded.
But what is the measure of success? If a boat from India gets to Christmas Island, is that a success for them?
Well, it's my intention to ensure that no venture successfully makes it to Australia.
Scott Morrison, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, David.